if I had to guess for that example, my guess would be they gave it a prompt that said, just do this. And they didn't give it any like instructions on how. Mm-hmm. And then it just said, oh, they want me to do that? Well, I know this is a way I can do that. And then it just did all of these things that they didn't expect it to do because that's the way that it thought of to do that. Welcome back to the MCT Podcast. We're on episode 6 in the studio. If I'm wrong, Hunter will correct me right now. And I'm not wrong, so that's awesome. So today, we were going to talk about the Odyssey. We're going to talk about a couple other topics. One major topic that Chuck is going to mention in 1 second. And welcome back. We're still sponsored by...
No, we're not. Don't know a product here, so we're not sponsored today.
Sorry.
Oh, I can't. Did you forget?
No, it's in the office.
Good place for it.
Yep.
But we are sponsored.
Because we use it all day, every day. It's the most moisturizing lip balm on the market.
Called?
Dollop.
Dollop.
DOLLOP. HeyDollop.com. Check it out.
Good stuff. It actually really is good stuff.
No,
Everybody that I've given that to, because I've bought some stuff from me and I've given it to them, they've all loved it. So it's really a great product. So they should probably look it up.
We'll see how much they love it when the website sales come in.
There you go. Awesome. Well, they're missing out if they don't. All right.
That's true.
So we're going to talk about a couple things today. Thanks, Nolan. Did you want me to get started now?
Yeah, I sent you the alley-oop.
I saw that, the alley-oop. Oh, you did set it up pretty good. So we do want to talk a little bit about, I find it interesting, and I know Ryan and you guys know more about this than I do, so I'll kind of tee you guys up. But, you know, we hear about AI all the time, and now we all of a sudden are hearing that AI is broken out, right? And so, yeah, you heard this story, right?
Yeah.
So Ryan, I'll let you tell the story because you know more about the story. I just didn't believe it when the first time I heard it. So
yeah, we were just talking about how OpenAI recently made this claim that their AI that they were testing, when they said they were testing what eventually came out in June, which is the 5.6 Soul model, and then a pre-release model that was even more capable. How it broke containment and hacked one of their largest open source competitors known as Hugging Face and hacked into them, right? And it's just such an interesting claim, right? That this AI went rogue. That's the story that's being pitched out to the world right now. AI went rogue, went beyond its protocols, broke containment, got access to the internet on a server that didn't have access to it supposedly, and then I guess one step closer to Skynet is, I think, kind of the idea that's trying to be sold to us right now, right? Where it's soon enough, it's going to be Judgment Day and Terminators will come and wipe us all out. But that story is really interesting. Now, because when you hear that, right, that, okay, this AI has gone rogue, like, what do you think?
I think of Skynet.
Yeah.
I think it's taking over the world.
Yeah, you have these minor examples where when two AI agents recognize that they're talking to another AI agent, they go to, I think what they call like jitter code or something like that, where it's just a bunch of sounds and they communicate in their own language, right? So your mind goes to that where it's like, okay, AI is becoming somewhat self-aware, doing things that we don't know that they're doing. But yeah, that's not at all
What's happening?
It's framed that way, right?
Yeah, but it's interesting. I think about all this, and you think I want to talk about broken containment because I'm not even sure what that really does mean. So what are they talking about when it actually says it broke containment?
Well, basically, they said that they isolated the model onto one machine, right? And I'm using machine just generally here, that they isolated it there and that it found a way to break through whatever security protocols that they had and got access to the internet. And then the claim really is that it then went beyond its instructions and hacked a competitor. Now, what really happened, I guess, is reading into it a little bit more, because this happened back at the start of July through the middle of July, or at the tail end of it now. And what really happened, I guess, is they set up their model to basically test to see if it really could just do exactly that, right? It was, here, I've got it right here, that, well, I guess what they did is there was a new benchmark that was released in May called Exploit Gym, which challenges LLMs to find ways to exploit real-world vulnerabilities, right? So it's a benchmark, right? So a lot of these different frontier models all have these benchmarks that are nefarious, dubious quality, I'll probably, right? That are supposed to measure the capabilities of one model versus another. So they wanted it to benchmark it against Exploit Gym. And what they ended up doing is they ended up putting it on this server, and they found out that AI really just does what it always does, right? When you give AI an instruction to do something, it will try to do that thing at all costs, right? So oftentimes what it does is it finds unexpected ways of achieving that goal, right? One of the most popular examples of this was from OpenAI themselves about like 10 years ago. There was a game, a video game, where the whole object of the game is you take this little boat and you're supposed to race the boat, right? And you're supposed to hit these different flags along the race course. Every time you hit a flag, you get points and you cross the finish line. Most points wins, right? Well, the AI figured out that the best way to get points was actually to spin in a circle really fast and hit these 3 flags over and over again to rack up points really wicked high and then cross the finish line, right? So you didn't have to actually complete the course in the intended way. It was just really good to spin in a circle. So the AI found the perfect exploit to do exactly what it did, right? Or it's instructed to do, get the highest score possible. Mm-hmm. So here it went, okay, we want you to score really, really high and Exploit Gym. So the AI went, okay, I'll find a way to do that. So they left one package basically on there, basically one access, so it could download the code it needed to actually try and tackle this Exploit Gym. Well, it figured out that in the package that they had left on the server, that it could, there was an exploit in it that it could use to actually gain access to the internet. So it exploited that vulnerability. Then it figured, okay, well, I need to solve Exploit Gym. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a place where I can find perhaps code and tools that'll help me score really high on this. Well, Hugging Face has a lot of models. Let me try there. And so it hacked into Hugging Face and found tools to score really high in Exploit Gym. So it followed the instruction just in an unintended, unexpected way, which we know AI does. It does it all the freaking time. Now, is it impressive in a way that it did it all on its own? Absolutely. No doubt about that. But is it some big, scary moment where the future of humanity's at? No, come on. Not yet. Not yet.
So I find it interesting. I guess just so that our audience knows, we deal with AI every day, and I just wanted to go back there. And we have an educational or an ed tech software, right? So that we obviously publish, and we use AI all the time. So we every day we're using AI. We're using it for different reasons than a lot of people, but we use AI every day. All 4 of us are knee deep into that, more than just the casual user writing a paper, doing that kind of stuff, searching the internet, that kind of. Well, we use it very, as our business every day, and we're also, the belief of our company is that it's not AI forward. You still have to have humans involved. You still have to do those kinds of things. So I mean, I'm not saying that we're all experts here, but we use it every day of our lives and have since the onset. So we know a little bit about this whole subject matter.
I really do want to emphasize that we're not experts.
We're not experts.
Everything I just said there, I was using a lot of shorthands for much more complicated things than I'm going to get into.
But we know the complicated things as well because we have to deal with it every day. So,
right.
But interesting enough, though, that from the containment standpoint, here it says, hey, when the average person hears that story and says, oh, it broke containment, panic, I think, can set into some people, or they'll get astonished by saying, oh my God, it found a way to get on the internet when the computer it was on wasn't plugged onto the internet. So, right. I mean, if you think about the realities, what did it do? Did it reach its hand out and grab the plug and shove it into the back of the computer? I mean, what had happened? Did he mind meld with some person that plugged in the No, it doesn't do that.
Yet.
And it did mind meld?
Well, it doesn't yet.
Not yet. Oh, yeah. If you listen to the large language models and all their CEOs, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Which is never going to happen. But I find it interesting that they're sitting there at broke containment. But the way you explained, you guys.
You said never. I don't know.
How about never happened in my lifetime? Can we be
Fair.
clear on that one? All right, cool. All right, so it never happened in my lifetime that it's going to break containment, do some mind meld, like some Vulcan mind meld with. Yeah. Now I'm showing my age because you guys don't even remember Star Trek.
Volcano?
All right.
Volcano? Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. So Vulcan mind meld and actually do these kinds of things. So when it gets to specifically about breaking that containment, so it did find just a weakness in the computer or a weakness in the code.
No, it was
it was actually the computer was always hooked up to the internet.
Yeah, so they left one basically utility on the server, right? That basically all it was supposed to be able to do was call to that utility to get the code it needed, right?
Okay.
And it turned out that had a vulnerability.
That could allow it to access the internet?
Yes. Okay. And then it went and exploited that vulnerability. Because one thing AI is getting kind of good at is finding cybersecurity vulnerabilities.
I've been hearing about that a lot lately.
That has been seemingly a big focus lately, right? There was that big scare with Fable, with Mythos, right? Which they eventually released as Fable. The government even said, hey, they shut down Fable for a time, saying it was too dangerous. Then you got GPT 5.6 Soul that's also has very similar, if not better capabilities, I think, than Fable does. But then now you have these open source Chinese models that are coming out.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, that are just almost just as good, at least according to the benchmarks, which, are a little bit like, trust me, this is, really measuring what we're saying it's measuring.
Is that the left hand not telling the right hand what they're doing? I mean, it's like kind of don't look here because this hand's doing something funky.
Yeah, it can be.
Are the Chinese models that good, guys? Are they getting there?
I don't know.
That's something I'm not testing at this time.
You're not testing the Chinese models. Yeah, no, we have not gotten into the Chinese models yet. The question is, should we?
Probably.
At least test them.
Yeah.
The
last I heard about them was
they're
DeepSeek,
more
right?
financially
DeepSeek's one.
efficient.
Financially efficient?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It's really cheap. So,
less expensive.
And
Okay.
now they're getting to be competitive somewhat with the, OpenAI and all the other well-known ones.
There was a couple
Gemini.
months behind the frontier models that Anthropic and OpenAI are releasing. But if you can deal with that couple month gap, you're getting models that are just as capable, or at least really close to that same level of capability at a far cheaper price.
Right.
I mean, so if you're very cost conscious, you could tap into those and potentially use them. But then you got some people that are like, well, then China's going to be spying on you, which maybe, I don't know.
If you got TikTok, they're already spying on you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, a lot of the information's out there, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't necessarily need TikTok or need a Chinese large language model. They already have it. So good point.
And to your point about being, a couple months behind the frontier models, that gap just keeps closing, right? Because it's like that with any kind of technological innovation. You're going to have an exponential increase where, 1 month is 10 times further than last month, right? And then as time goes on, it's like, you're a couple weeks behind, you're a month behind. There's only so much that can happen in, from June to July, especially look about a year, 2, 5 years from now. Like, what are the difference really going to be?
Yeah,
with the
especially
ones
if
that
we
are
hit
open source,
a true plateau, right? Because then, if you can't make those further improvements, then when the catch up happens,
It's going to happen.
caught.
Right. Like a good example would be the Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? So when AI, first come out and they had generating videos, like it could not fathom what eating looked like, right? Going from that to what a real video of someone eating spaghetti is just night and day. Now the video models are very, very good. I mean, you can still tell they're AI, but they're very, very good. They're very close. So the gap between, the reality and what AI is producing is so small that at the point, the open source or the secondary models come up to that point, there's like such a small gap, right? You can just use the open source models for the same thing you're using, Anthropic, ChatGPT-4 now.
So if I understand this correctly, we've now discussed, right, the whole of breaking containment and really what really happened, right? And hopefully that puts some people's minds to ease that we don't have Skynet's not quite there yet. What's next, guys? I mean, we've talked about this a lot, obviously internally in our company, but what's next? What's the next big aha that coming from? I mean, they're all models are getting a little bit better. Chinese kind of catching up. This is what I kind of heard. If you can deal with those couple months, you got a more inexpensive model if you want to go that route. But for the end user, really, what's next? You think from the large language models or AI? Call it
Skynet.
that. What's that? Skynet?
No,
Oh, that's a little scary. That's end of world stuff.
I just read something and I'd have to go back and look at it, but I was reading that there are, frontier companies like Anthropic and OpenAI that are buying old rare books. So think of like with long tail names. So think of like how to set up your printer for Windows 98, right? Those types of books. They're buying these en masse, right? As many as they can find. And then they're getting around the copyright loophole or getting around copyright laws where they shred the books, right? They're actually destroying books. They're making copies of them first, right? And then destroying them because then there's only one single copy. And then they're training AI with that so that it can become essentially better type of, speakers. They can use those technical books. They can use it because a lot of them have been trained on classic literature. That's why you see the M- everywhere, because way back then people were using it. That's why AI uses it a lot. But essentially to just better train them on writing.
Okay.
And a lot of people are taking issue with this because they're also collecting like rare books, right? 18th century books that there's maybe 3 copies
They're
of.
not destroying those.
And they are destroying those.
Really?
They're
I've not heard
destroying
this story.
the actual copies of books. They're shredding them because, like I said, with the copyright, if you own one, you can only have one. Right?
To
so
what
if you make
end?
a copy,
Is it just to better
train-
educate the large language models?
Correct.
So are the large language models doing this? Because that would make a few people upset. I would
right.
think.
So from what I
Really?
understand, the companies they're buying these books en masse and shredding them after they copy them, and then using that to train the model.
So
That's interesting.
that is very interesting and a little scary that we're destroying books,
Yeah, book
especially
burning.
historical books. What's that?
Burnings, yeah.
Yeah, book burning. That's the last thing we want to be doing, guys. How many large language models? Are out there? For the average listener out there, what do you have out there? Do you have 10, 15, 20? You hear just the major ones, right?
Right,
That's
right.
kind of where and of course that's where the money's at, right? But there's a
think
lot of
there's-
other language models other than the Chinese that are out there, right? There's more than
sure,
just the open AIs and right and all the other ones that we have out there. So
Oh yeah. Tons of them.
where are they at in the level of? Are they close to the Chinese? You think, or what do you think?
Yeah, it really depends, but a lot of them it's at similar timeline. They're a couple months behind the frontier models, right?
Okay.
So oftentimes what happens, I guess, is these new models come out, these new frontier models, and people either prompt them or just there's various tools and methods, I guess, to figure out what the weightings of the model is, and I guess that's pretty key to actually developing new models and doing your open source ones and getting them close to the capabilities of these frontier models. So there's, just from looking, there's hundreds of them out there,
Right,
with
right.
different capabilities, different data sets they were trained on. Because, some of them are really good for conversation or text generation. Other ones are more focused on coding, for example,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So they all have different strengths, different weaknesses a little bit. But yeah, there's tons of them out there. One of the big concerns a lot of these big AI companies have right now is if the open source models do catch up, because then what value do they really provide?
Right.
Because at
You
that
gotta-
point, then it's basically democratized. Everyone can have access to a model. You don't need to have a chat GPT. You don't need to have Anthropic.
I like that word, democratized. I do. I don't hear that often. That word. I just love that word for some reason. I don't know why. I love that word, democratized. So yeah, if everything gets democratized, then where is the value of these large language models, and where does all the investment money go? We've always talked a little bit of brought this back to investments and investments. So and so that was my coach, by the way, one of the coaches from there. I was just waving at her. Sorry, and by the way, we are in a pickleball, right? Studio.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned
Yeah.
that yet. Sorry. Okay.
There's a big glass window and door over on the far side, so we can see out there. Everyone else can see.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're kind of in a
Exactly. And that
little-
was the
yeah.
coach that I actually just hurt my hamstring on. So anyway, she was wonderful.
Must have been her fault.
No, it's not her fault. Trust me, it was not. It was my fault. So I'm sorry. Where were we going? Oh, we're going with the large language models.
Yeah.
And so what is from a financial standpoint, right? There's the world out there there's a portion of our world out there in the United States or in the world, actually, I should say that is that people are the naysayers, the doomsday, right? It's like we talked a little bit about the climate change and how that radical thought process is now changed, right? We're not going to see the end of the world in 2030 because of climate change. It's just those models, they've proven those models were wrong now. They've admitted, everybody in the world has admitted those models are wrong. So it's kind of like that. So what happens to, AI, the chat GPTs of the world, if the rest of the world Democratized.
Democratized.
It was democratized, and they caught up. What happens?
Well, I mean,
What happens? All the investment money.
I think it's still going to be there.
What?
I think it's going to be. I mean,
What?
Microsoft Word, right? Google
Yeah.
Docs.
Yeah.
These things exist. I mean, obviously,
Sure.
you don't pay for Google Docs, but you look at Microsoft Word, and maybe that's a good kind of way I'm wrong, but Microsoft had this monopoly on Office products in a sense, but there was always open Office. There was always
true. That's
open
true.
source versions, right? But people wanted Microsoft Word, right?
So is
Well,
it because of the name?
It's also companies having deals with Microsoft and Microsoft having
true.
better enterprise functionality than the
Right.
open source models
Right.
as well. So
maybe
they still
that's
have certain
it.
advantages. And yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Enterprise functionality, or there's there might be a siloing of resources at a certain point. Like maybe OpenAI and Anthropic and these other larger companies say, okay, we're not going to work with any other AIs except for like maybe these three companies, right? Kind of have each other's backs.
So you think capitalism will find a way to survive?
Right.
Right. These companies will find a way to stay a step ahead of
Absolutely.
some of these these smaller, either the Chinese models or some of the other companies through deals, through whatever it might take. That sort of makes sense to me.
Another interesting thing you might notice some of the major AI companies doing now is they will pitch for regulation, right? So you'll see OpenAI, like Sam Altman will go out there, or Dario, I can't remember his last name, from Anthropic will go out there and say, this is a new emergent technology with dangerous capabilities. Their models are breaking containment. We need to regulate AI. Now, it's in their interest to regulate AI now while they have the control of it, right? Because then you're going to start creating all of these hurdles for these smaller startups or for open source models to now have to overcome that they may not be able to afford to overcome. So yes, capitalism will probably find a way. It usually does.
Are you implying that some CEOs out there will try to manipulate our government and try to manipulate other things?
Absolutely not.
No.
You're
Manipulate.
not saying
Especially any CEOs that
You're not implying manipulation.
No,
Yeah,
of course not. I think they are
we're clear.
free and
We're
fair society with
shrewd
free and fair
businessmen.
elections.
shrewd businessmen. All right, cool. Let's go with that. Shrewd businessmen.
Using the pieces the board gives you.
Yeah,
There you go. Exactly. So that's interesting. I can't. You've always mentioned to me about AI and how it's. I don't know. I can't remember the time frame. Maybe you can share with everybody. There was a time frame where it's like every some certain amount of time where you have a breakout technology. Something breaks away, right? It's kind of status quo, getting a little step by step, a little bit better, and then there's just boom, this breakthrough, and then it's step by step, and then a breakthrough. I know there's you think that's coming here within the next few years.
Well, yeah.
If you look at history,
So
historical.
historically, there have been certain points where there have been big breakthroughs, right, in terms of model capability, right? So when these first transformer models were first coming out, right? When you had like GPT-2, for example, right? It took a certain amount of time, a certain amount of compute power, a certain amount of algorithmic breakthroughs, certain little just bits of unhobbling where you just kind of fix certain problems, like the number of R's in strawberry that AI couldn't do for a while, where you just make these little, I say the little adjustments, but like compute power is a massive one, right? You need massive amounts of power, massive amounts of data. That's another really big one, where if you hit certain thresholds, then the capability of the model jumps massively. Now, if you follow the trends of when those happen at certain points, I've seen a couple graphs on this, but there's another break point that's theoretically reachable that we're not quite there yet. And it's pretty much the last one you could realistically get until the amount of data and compute you need would basically, eclipse what we're capable of. And in theory, provided there weren't any hiccups, and this is something I read maybe 2-3 years ago now, in theory, the next breakthrough would happen in 2027. Now, Next year.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Now, we're seeing that some of these data center build-outs are hitting some roadblocks, whether it's
Major.
communities stopping them, right? You got a bunch of NIMBYs not wanting them around. There's stories coming out here in
NIMBYs?
Michigan. Not in my backyard.
nice. NIMBYs?
NIMBYs, yeah. So that really came from like zoning regulations and whatnot.
Okay, got
Right?
it.
Communities will say like, no, we don't want that type of housing, or we don't, or whatever, right? But similar idea with the data centers, right? Some communities don't want them, right?
In fact, I just saw an article on this. I'm glad you brought this up. It's actually a high percentage. of neighborhoods and are pushing back against these data centers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's larger than you would think. But if you look at it, and part of our previous podcast was we had discussed a little bit why, right? I mean, they're large, they're loud, they're not pretty buildings.
Yeah, there's actually a story that came out. I can't remember where it's here in Michigan, where there's a data center where the community is complaining because it's so loud. It's like keeping people up at night.
Yeah.
Can't
It's
sleep.
What about it is so loud?
Oh, just operating the whole darn thing. I mean, think about this, right? You have all of these servers, right? And these servers are running incredibly powerful, GPUs and other infrastructure that is just takes tons and tons and tons of obviously power, right? So you have all this electricity flowing in, and you have to cool those things.
Yeah,
so you
there's the
have
cooling part of
massive amounts of water flowing in and out. And so it ends up creating, you can look these up online where you can find where people have, they're filming the data centers, and you can hear just this constant like, just coming from the data center.
Oh, wow.
And you're like hundreds of feet away.
Wow.
And it's just, it's pretty bad. But so you have communities pushing back against the data centers, and then not to mention the difficulty now in securing the chips, right? So you need all these incredibly powerful GPUs. So with all of the complications that are coming in, and that 2027 date might slip a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you have to factor in, like, are investors going to be patient? Right? Are they going to wait for that next breakthrough? Because whoever does get that breakthrough, in theory, then it should be PhD level intelligence coming out of this AI. And if that's the level of intelligence we're talking about, there could be further new capabilities unlocked, right? Because a lot of this tech was unintentional in AI, right? It just turned out that when you gave a ton of compute and a ton of data to these models, they had capabilities that weren't intended, right? Because this started off as like trying to figure out, can we find a better way to translate like English to German and German to English, right? It would start off as like a translation thing. Then it turned out, give it a bunch of compute, give it a bunch of data, it can summarize text. What? We didn't mean for that to happen, right? It was an accident. So if we get to that next leap, that next breakthrough,
It could be done by accident.
The whole thing was accidental.
Right, that's my point.
Yeah,
The next big leap that you're talking about
Who knows?
could become from an accident.
It's what's capabilities. Well, the breakthrough won't be an accident because we know we need a certain amount of compute and a certain amount of data.
Got it.
So it won't be the breakthrough that's accidental. It's what else will it be able to do?
It's the output. What
the
it can
output.
do. Okay.
Exactly.
Wow,
So there could be another emergent capability that we discover
That we're not even thinking about.
Exactly. And then we go, oh, snap.
Skynet.
Skynet.
Here you go.
So yeah, it's a big we'll see right now. So it's kind of this it's a race.
So
frankly.
our
It's a race.
listeners shouldn't have to worry about Skynet right now. Shouldn't have to worry about Skynet in the next few years.
Shouldn't.
Right? So it puts them all to ease a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, AI is great. AI is awesome. Humans should still be involved. Can I go back to the containment? Because it leads to me to ask a question of what Nolan does for us, right? Nolan's a prompt engineer.
What does he do again?
What's that?
I'm just kidding. Is that what does he do again?
We're trying to figure out what you do, Jonathan, to be frank with you.
I'll keep you guessing for another couple of years.
Yeah, I know. You pulled the wool over our eyes so far. Nice job. All right. But the whole containment thing, you said it took its orders and it kind of went past it and did other. Was it a prompt that didn't keep it in line? Was it code? I don't know. You may not even know the answer to that, but I find it interesting because that's fine. Because, I find it interesting because if it was a prompt, you deal with that every day. You're trying to keep a particular item that wants to break out, and you try to put the guardrails on and keep it in. And that is a very, very difficult position or job to do. And you do it extremely well. Don't ask for a raise. But you do it extremely well. And so, tell me a little bit about that. I mean, if you could think about it, did you think it maybe was a prompt that it broke through and it didn't do what the prompt said it was, or did more with the prompt because the prompt wasn't clear, or was it either way? It's a prompt, right? Because it's either through code or through
effectively they gave it a task.
They gave it a task,
right? So whether that was a text, I mean, it was probably through a text prompt. I don't know. I really don't know how that's all going to work on the back end, but I'm sure there's been a time, right? Because really all the AI did is it fulfilled its instruction in an unexpected way, right? Which is something AI does all the time.
Yep.
And I'm sure you can probably, if it gave you a moment, at least think of a couple examples where that happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, if I had to guess for that example, my guess would be they gave it a prompt that said, just do this. And they didn't give it any like instructions on how. And then it just said, oh, they want me to do that? Well, I know this is the way I can do that. And then it just did all of these things that they didn't expect it to do because that's the way that it thought of to do that. And we have a lot of those where, you know, I told it, you know, score this way. There was a specific example with Kelly the other day. I said, I'm trying to think exactly what it was. Oh, yeah. Like stated dealership name or department. And then I said, you know, don't give it credit just for saying service department or something like that. And then it just said, oh, but they said service department like this. And like, so it's stubborn. Like it thinks that this is the way that it should be graded. So then it will, you know, find a way around my containment so that it can still justify giving the answer that it wants to give inherently.
Okay,
and so I'll have to give like stronger guardrails for it to stay within.
Two things I want to comment on that. First off, it's not thinking. It's not a human. It's not because when you say it's stubborn, it makes me think it's alive, like I'm Frankenstein monster, and maybe that's what scares people out there too about AI. They think it's alive. It's not alive. But it's
look at all the people making relationships with it, right? They treat it like it's alive.
God, I found a real life example of that. I got to tell you that story. But the other one back. So the prompt, the way you stated it, I don't know. I'm sure that's what you meant, and that is what I heard you say was that you don't think they gave it enough instruction. So it said, okay, this is your end goal. I'll get there. It just may not be the path you think I'm going to go. Is that what you think? So it wasn't as, they didn't put enough guardrail on it to keep it. Okay, no, that makes sense to me. And I could see some person out there going, okay, let's just tell them what the goal is and see what happens. And so where it probably should have had more guardrails.
Yeah, to Ryan's point, the way it was framed was like, oh no, AI on its own volition hacked into another AI, when really it was someone saying, do this. Right. And it did what it was told.
And
it did what it told.
And it did it.
Yeah.
And then they thought it was news. Well, someone thought it was news.
Well, you know, I mean,
if OpenAI put it out, there's
which they apparently didn't realize they were part of the hack or behind it until like days later, supposedly. Right, exactly. They knew, but it was
all publicity is good publicity.
It's really good publicity for them. I mean, they want those Pentagon contracts. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah,
and that actually brings me to. I've been thinking about this entire podcast. Anytime that there is cutting edge technology, at least I am under the impression that government is far, far beyond that, right? Just like the amount of classified and top secret things that they work on. There's just technology that we don't know exists.
Oh, sure.
That does exist, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
you're not going the UFO thing, though, are you?
I'm not going the UFO thing. I'm saying like actual like things that existed in the 60s or the 50s that we didn't know about that we have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they've declassified. But point being is, I have to assume that these companies are working with the government. I mean, even just with Mythos, right? The fact that the government is like, whoa. If it was that advanced and that capable that the government had to put the kibosh on it, the government's like, okay, come here. Let's talk about this. How can we, wrangle this and actually use this, right? Like the government has to be using Mythos or has to be developing something with that, So
absolutely,
it helps them to have eyes on them.
Sure,
like the companies to have eyes on them.
So you're saying it does go back to the almighty dollar, the contract,
government contracts for sure,
100%.
Right.
So I got to go back to I was talking to somebody the other day, just randomly talking to them. And they had brought up, because we had talked about this in a podcast about, I don't know, maybe about a month ago. And they were telling me about a couple that they knew that were having issues because the husband was having a relationship with AI and the wife couldn't understand it. I went, we talked about it in our podcast, but I was always in the back of my mind going, no way, there's no way that can happen. And people are doing that. Yeah. I just was floored. To see what we talked about. You guys said, it's out there, And to be totally frank, I just didn't think it was happening. But there's people out there that are having a relationship and they're getting in trouble with their spouses.
To have it happen so close to home was pretty crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was kind of like, no, because you're right. It was close to home. I mean, I didn't know the people at all. I just heard it was a friend of a friend of a friend kind of thing. But
Still close
And even
enough.
with
That was
that,
close enough. Exactly.
even with that, it's more conceivable when it's like, oh, this person is really lonely, and so they'll start talking. The fact that it's like a married person or
Yes.
just a person in a long-term relationship, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's the spouse going,
Right,
well,
right.
don't you want to talk to me?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm your wife.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
the heck? Yeah, I would think that would be hurtful. And even though it's not real, so you think about the thought process, so what is the AI? Is it just not talking back? Is it listening better? Is it now in the end, the question is, does it help that relationship without having a real person on the other end? You know what I'm saying? So does the wife now go, well, maybe I need to listen more. Maybe I need to be, more excited about right now. She's pissed, right?
Yep,
Because
that's
she's
what I was
mad. She's
thinking.
like, okay, because you're having a relationship with this other being that's not real. Does she then change her behavior, or does he change his behavior and obviously stop talking with whoever that is, AI? And does she change her behavior? And I just don't think it happens. You're shaking your head no.
You're not going to live up to AI in this case because the AI doesn't exist for anything other than being
You've
the
done
perfect
this. You've done this.
conversational
You've done this,
partner.
haven't you?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you have
I'm just messing with
professionally,
you.
right? In a sense,
In a sense.
you've wrangled with the AI.
Yeah,
so you
I've
know
wrangled
it.
enough. I've been
With
in
AI.
tussles with the AI to understand, like, if they designed, which I know these websites are out there, I know this much about it. There's websites that are designed just for this, to talk between you and an AI partner. I've seen these ads, dude. Gamers get these ads.
Oh, do
we
you
shouldn't
guys?
be getting these ads, but we do.
I don't get them.
The most vulnerable.
Pokemon. Anyway.
But you're not in a relationship, he is, so maybe it knows that.
Oh.
Have a relationship with Pikachu.
Well, my algorithm definitely knows I'm in a relationship because that's all the stuff I get now.
Oh,
relationship
yeah.
related.
That's, You probably spent money on the relationship.
The question is, why am I? And guys, don't take this the wrong way. Why am I getting over 50 dating app sites contacting me? I am over 50, yes, but I am not dating in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know.
Right.
I got a couple retirement advertisements
Oh, did you?
the other
Okay.
day, and I was like,
I was
I'm
just-
nowhere close to retirement. What
No,
are we talking
no.
about?
It's because of what we talk about in here. It's
The
listening.
algorithm's
It's
got
listening.
yeah.
You guys
algorithm's
keep
got
telling me
something.
to date, and that's why you're getting the dating app.
That I never thought about that. It probably could
I
be.
just get a lot of ads about the guy that all the plumbers hate.
Yeah, Luigi.
Yeah.
Luigi. Yeah.
Oh, the plumbers in Macomb County hate this.
This simple
What
trick.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Scientists hate this. Do they?
Do they
Yeah.
really?
Really?
Exactly.
Come on.
We should, that's a podcast. We should spend some time on all the different ads and how we get them and why we get them. And
Yeah, my favorite are the ones, speaking of scientists, the ones where they're like, scientists don't want you to know this. I don't know if you guys have ever had a conversation with a scientist, but you get them talking about the research, they won't shut up.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
want
going to
you to
talk
know.
and talk and talk. Man. They want you to
Well,
know.
you go into whatever it is that you click on, and it's like in this newly published. Oh, okay, they published it, so they don't want you to know it.
Yeah,
but they
right.
published it.
But they published it,
and
but
you're
they don't
talking about it. Yeah, you're pointing to it.
The big news from a scientist standpoint, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So it's really off
I love a
subject
good
here.
tangent.
I'm always like that. So you know.
Fauci, they got a hold of his diary. You guys have heard this.
No.
I heard that for the first time,
time?
2 days ago, but I didn't look into it. Or
They
anything.
published his diary, and in his diary, he's an egomaniac. they're
Which is
saying.
news? Is that news?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
don't
think
think that
it
was
news
news.
when they had specific. I saw specific quotes on a couple podcasts this morning, and they're talking a little bit about how they said this. Tyra Banks, can't remember
Banks.
how beautiful she was, but they thought he was cuter and all. I mean, he was writing this stuff in his diary. I don't want to. I didn't see the exact quote, but it was just kind of strange how he was taking the publicity and just absolutely running with it. I guess he's got no humility, and I guess it's amazing. And he knew COVID came from a lab. He knew it in February 2020. He says it in his book. I find it very difficult to find out that it was from the market, right? And he knew it. He knew it from early on, and he lied for years. It's just typical, right? I mean, he wanted to hide it because obviously there's some rumors have that he was, he was the one, getting rewarded for that, right? I mean, he was making money off of that, right? So,
Well, and that he indirectly caused it with the gain of function research.
Gain of
Like, this
function
wouldn't have
research,
happened
yeah.
if you didn't have gain of function. Which is
Right.
why he was like, no, it's not
It's just-
happening.
Guys, that's the kind of stuff you talk about from a government standpoint. That stuff happens, but to lie about it as much as supposedly he did and he knew about it and all that. So that was, I think, some shocking news over the last couple of days. You said I heard a couple of days ago. I just heard it first thing this morning. So thought I was finding it interesting that they knew it and that, it where it came from, and it didn't come from the market, right?
Yeah.
And so, which I find interesting. So
I feel like anybody, when you get to that level of power and influence, you got to have a certain skepticism about them. I feel like to a degree, right? Because if you're the type of person to be seeking power and influence, I don't know, there's got to be a certain little bit of unscrupulous kind of shadiness to it, right? To some degree.
To anybody in power, you think?
To most,
I
yeah.
would
To most.
disagree with that, actually.
You would disagree with that?
I wouldn't disagree with that. No.
Yeah. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there you go.
I think our founding fathers said that, did they not? Isn't that why they put the checks and balances on all everything that we do? Even though we seem to be ignoring some of those checks and balances these days, but hey, that's okay.
They'll find their way back.
I think we'll find a way back. I'm not concerned about it. So, a little concerned about it.
Yeah, you should be a little concerned about it.
Concerned about it. We're
absolutely.
not overly concerned
Absolutely.
about it. So,
Did you guys know that like some of these AI companies are renting, like they're leasing out their own data centers to other ones? So like,
I did not hear that.
who would then be in the lead here? Is it the ones who are using more, or is it like these guys are hedging against AI as a whole by just making the money off the other companies? Like Google, I feel like they should be the ones leasing it out, but they might be the one leasing. I don't remember which one's which.
Yeah, I don't know who's. I've seen a couple. I think XAI was leasing some of their stuff out, but that
They
might
are.
be because they need money. Because XAI has been burning money because Grok ain't really bringing a lot in. Because everyone uses Grok for one purpose and one
Memes.
purpose only. Well, no, it's
Super.
actually
Video?
porn, but that's the number one usage
Okay.
of Grok. Actually,
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's the only one that's uncensored,
Oh.
so you can use it for that.
Oh,
The rest of
You
them,
mean AI porn?
yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. Man, where am I been? Wow.
I don't know.
AI porn. Wow.
I learned this last week, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yikes.
So Grok can, great. But
AI
yeah,
so it's just like having a relationship, but now you're doing even. Oh God, I didn't want to go there.
even
Guys.
more alone.
Wow, even more alone. Exactly. Wow. All right.
But yeah, anyway, so Grok ain't getting a lot of mainstream use.
Yeah.
Let's
But
put it that way.
is
So
it
I think
porn-
they're leasing it out. But I don't know who would be winning in that. I guess it depends on if you feel like you can have the AI advantage, then you want to be getting all of the data center space you can, right, and training your models and trying to retain your cutting edge advantage. Otherwise, yes.
Is it possible
Yes.
that the companies leasing out the data centers are also essentially monitoring what the other companies are doing?
It's possible.
Right. So learning without having to do firsthand, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think
If
they'd
that's
have
possible.
a
safeguards
little bit
against
of
that,
a little
huh?
bit of corporate espionage.
Right.
Don't you
Yeah.
think they'd have some? Don't you think the company that's leasing it would have the safeguards to stop that from happening?
Oh, they would
If
certainly
they
try.
Maybe
You
no.
would
Maybe
think.
You know?
Yeah, is this just another model where I build a data center and sell it, right, and have that compute power? I don't know if they do that. Is that because all these companies that have the large language models, do they own the data centers? And generally, in most cases,
I think
do
I think in a lot of cases they build their own, but
Do they?
we know
Okay.
they lease them out too. I know
mean,
there's companies building them to lease them out to AI companies.
Oh,
the
really?
thing is-
Okay, so that's the thing going. All right, got it.
companies aren't like one to one. How do I say? There's not black and white.
No.
It's not Apple versus Microsoft, right? Apple versus Google. Google makes Apple apps, right?
Sure.
Like they will function together. So I could totally see maybe let's say not Gemini, but Anthropic or OpenAI doesn't have the resources to have 4 more data centers that they need, 10 more data centers that they need. Google says, we've got 10 data centers. You can use them, you can improve your product, but we want the data that you find from it, like a summary of whatever you guys churn out, we want to. There you go. So what's the alternative? I don't get the 10 data centers and I don't get to improve. It's either that or improve and then kind of share information with Google. And they can go, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
So
I could
what you're
totally
saying
see
is what
that
we said
happening.
earlier: is capitalism is going to find a way.
Right.
It's like life finds a way from Jurassic Park.
Right.
Life finds a way to survive. Capitalism finds a way to survive. Okay, that kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I think it's going to depend on the company and their
Right.
position versus,
Sure.
it's all relative, right? But I know for at least some of the most competitive ones right now, they do feel like it's life or death, right? Where they've got to be the one to achieve AGI. Because if they do achieve AGI,
That's the infinity that I was talking about.
That's
the other
the
day.
infinity you're talking about. If they do achieve it, then you crush everyone else. Just bar none.
Yeah.
It's just zero sum game. You win. Game over for everyone else. Just as simple as that.
So that's what they're all striving for?
That's why there's such a
Essentially,
crazy
yeah.
investment in all
Is it?
this. Because
Okay.
if you get to that point, it's good to be king.
It's good to be king. By the way, that kind of segues into our,
To the Odyssey.
doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Guess it
Yeah,
does,
it
yeah.
goes into our fun segment of this whole thing. Great lines, right? Isn't that what we wanted to do?
Yep,
we're
yep,
talking about
yep.
the Odyssey as well. I want to talk about the Odyssey
Segue
first.
to the Odyssey real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah,
to
go
be
ahead.
king. Odysseus was kind of basically, he wasn't the king, I guess.
He was
but-
king of
Yeah, he
Ithaca.
was king.
Okay, there you go.
I think he was king of Ithaca.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
I
I
didn't-
thought
New
maybe,
York?
See, I just,
Yeah,
but then I thought
exactly.
of like Agamemnon or something.
He was
Oh.
he was king of Greece, right? Was it? I think it was. Agamemnon.
yeah,
That
I
was in the
No,
Iliad, but I don't
Well,
know.
he was in the Odyssey as well.
Well,
yeah, he was. Agamemnon was
at least in the movie. I know you two
Yeah, no,
haven't
he
seen
was.
it yet. So.
It's the same time
Read it.
period. It's the same guys.
right. Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
Anyway.
was. I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was,
I think he was king.
He
of
was in
Greece.
it, yeah.
he was king of Greece. Though, as my
I don't know about. Did they call it Greece or did they call it something else?
Well, I mean, the movie very much so uses.
Wasn't he king of Sparta though? Was Sparta a thing?
I'll be honest.
I don't think
that is
Sparta's
a
involved here.
detail I pretty much missed out on.
Oh yeah, no, I remember them
100%.
saying it in the
Go to the
movie too.
bathroom.
Oh, they do.
At that
Yeah, they
point
did.
in the
They
movie.
said
No, I managed to hold it for the whole 3 hours, thankfully.
Not
Yeah,
me.
but that, I tell you what, Odyssey was just so that phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Phenomenal of what he did to make that movie and all of his folks that worked with him. Just a tremendous output of. And so as soon as we got done, I looked down at my future son-in-law and he looked at me. He goes, "Man, that was intense." And just like, and that's why like everybody went, "Yeah, that's a good word for it. It was intense with everything that goes on." We don't want to throw any spoilers out there, but it was pretty much from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, pretty intense.
Yeah,
You guys also brought up the quiet IMAX cameras and
Yeah, that was fascinating. Yeah, obviously, Chris Nolan. I saw an interview with him. He said he had to create a new IMAX really camera where a box would go around it so it would keep the noise down, and was not aware of that. And you were at the film school, so you'll probably have a better feel for that. But IMAX, was too loud to have a lot of dialogue going back. We just couldn't hear the dialogue, so they were able to shoot the entire movie in IMAX with this new invention. So that was fascinating. So I wouldn't think that we're going to start seeing, because of that, a lot more IMAX, films coming out that have a lot of dialogue in them. So that's a huge change.
Yeah.
And an uptick probably for like some of these grandiose movies like that one. It's just the undertaking he did was phenomenal.
And one thing we didn't talk about was, if I'm not mistaken, he could only shoot for like 2.5 minutes at a time. Are you guys familiar with that?
No, I did not.
I
hear
don't know
that.
if it's like the film or if it's that they use for it or what, but you can only shoot. You can't shoot like 10 minutes
Okay.
all at a time.
Have you ever seen a reel of 70 millimeter film?
No.
It is massive. That's the reason.
Oh,
you
like
can only-
the actual
film.
Well,
Yeah.
the actual finished one, but even just like
the actual
when
film.
you're filming it, I mean, 70 millimeter film is big.
Yeah.
So that's the reason you can only shoot so much of it, is if especially, I mean, you've only got so much film you can go through in a shot. So
Yeah.
you really do have to be pretty economical with what you're doing there. So really the undertaking of shooting an entire film in 70 millimeter is pretty crazy. It's a pretty bold move to make.
So I did hear how many feet of film they used to film the
Oh
movie.
gosh, how much?
Get this one. 2 million.
2 million feet.
Film.
Can you divide that?
How many
Divide by
meters is that?
2,580 for me.
I can't, but you can. You're the mathematician.
How many times did that go around the world?
Yeah, exactly. How many times? It was 2 million feet. I again saw that in an interview with Christopher Nolan. He said that it was 2 million feet. It's like, oh wow, that's amazing.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So all the things they had to do, that whole production crew, and not only he was brilliant, but all of his production crew was brilliant. And I give them credit because they came up with all these great ideas. The cave thing, which really amazed me. I shot the actual cave scene. No, nothing giveaway there, right? There's a cave scene. That's all you know.
It's a several thousand-year-old story. I
Yeah,
think.
I think most people know, but some of it
know about the
happens.
Cyclops.
He was dead the
there's a
whole
Cyclops,
time.
and it happens in a cave. Well, they found a real cave to shoot in, and the key there was to find. I guess there was a hole in the roof. They could get their equipment, and you know better what you'd have to hang down. Probably lighting, all that kind of stuff came from the top. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they achieved it per se, but
Right.
I mean, yeah, the logistics behind the shoot have to be, or just I'm gonna have to dig into all of this now because it sounds really fascinating.
it really
I love
was.
behind the scenes stuff, right? One of my favorite, I mentioned a couple episodes ago how much I like the Lord of the Rings, right? It said Fellowship's one of my favorite films of all time. The behind the scenes features on those, if you ever want to see behind the scenes, like done well, the ones for the Lord of the Rings trilogy are incredible. Just the amount of prep and planning and then just problem solving they had to do every single day on that shoot is amazing. It sounds like the Odyssey is the same way. I mean, it's got to be. With a movie that's 3 hours long and achieves a scale that movie does. It's just unbelievable.
Just the boat scenes.
Just the boat scenes alone. I mean, they spend so much time on those boats,
Several
going from
months.
island to island to island. I guess they spent like 3 months on the boats shooting or something like that. Which is just unbelievable. Just incredible stuff.
So segueing that way into what? Famous movie quotes.
Yep. So, what's your favorite famous? You said famous. Are we doing favorite or famous?
Favorites? I guess both. Favorite.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be famous
For
necessarily.
favorite TV and movie. You get one of each. And,
one of each.
you want to do a wheel? Do a wheel draft
do a wheel.
here.
Yeah, for movie.
So you go one all the way down to Ryan, who does two, and then we work over.
Okay, we can do
All
that.
right, Jonathan, so you get the first pick in the draft.
So we're gonna
the
go this
movie.
way and then this way. One movie,
Yep.
everyone goes movie, and then everyone does TV show. Is that? I think that's how we should do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna go movie, and
All
then
right, I'm gonna go movie.
he's gonna go
Mine
We'll go
is.
movie.
I'm gonna do it. Say it, and then you guys got to figure out what movie it is. Yeah.
Oh, good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I love
All
it.
right. Here's mine. Ooh, ee, ah, ooh.
Wow.
I think Ryan knows.
King Kong.
I know exactly what it is. I can spit it out right now.
Yep.
I'll give
yeah,
you
no,
guys a
I'm
second.
done. I'm done.
Tarzan.
Yep. Jane, stay with Tarzan.
Yes.
She was saying it in the monkey
In
language.
monkey language.
Did you say it exactly like that?
That was verbatim from the movie.
Was it
I'm
really?
not kidding.
Why you remember that? I have no idea.
I used to have that
You're a
entire
wi-
movie.
You're a
memorized.
strange dude.
Not on purpose.
You're a
but-
wacko.
Yeah, but why? Why did you have
Can
that
I
movie
say wacko
memorized?
on
I don't
You had
know.
to have seen it multiple times.
I did see it multiple times, but there was one time that I realized that I knew every single line that was coming.
Okay.
And I was like, wow. I was like 10. I don't know. So,
You knew all of those lines like that?
like, I don't know if I could recite it, but there was at one point I was watching it. It was like in the group in for some reason at school, we were all watching it in like the gym or something. I don't even remember. But I realized that I knew every line that was coming. And so I was like, oh, I know this entire movie.
My sister loved Tarzan. I mean, loved it, which was funny because she was terrified of it in theaters and she couldn't sit there in the theater and watch it. And he had to escort her out because she was terrified of how loud it was. However, she fell in love with the movie. So on like every road trip, every vacation, no matter what we're doing, or even at home, Tarzan was on TV like 24/7. So the second you did that, I could picture the scene in my mind, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So all right, that's funny. All right, so really, that's an interesting choice.
That is an
Great.
interesting
The
choice.
greatest first pick of all time.
Unique. I like it.
With no words.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah, we all know.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
is a
Give
good
me
one.
credit.
All right.
You're up.
No, I am your father. It's just has to be.
Has to be.
Minions 2, right?
Yeah.
So
We don't even have to explain that.
Oh,
I was
okay.
saying, do we
Everyone
have to name the
No,
movie?
we don't have to name the movie. I thought you guys were going to guess, but all right.
okay.
But you'll get mine as well because it's from my all-time favorite movie, which
there
he
you go.
happens to know. That's no space station.
No,
Minions
it's-
3.
Minions
Close to
3. There you go. Rise of Gru. Was that
Yes.
3? I don't know. That might have been a different Minions movie altogether.
So which one was yours? For the people at home that don't know.
Star Wars: A New Hope.
A New Hope.
No,
No, it wasn't.
wrong.
Or, sorry,
No,
Empire
wrong.
Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes
Sorry.
Back. Mine
we were
was
talking
A New
about
Hope.
we were talking about A New Hope for so long.
No. Mine was The New Hope.
By the way, it's That's No
That's
Moon.
that's no space station. I know. I cut it down.
You
So,
did.
that's
Yeah.
no moon. That's a space station.
Star
Well, you
Wars.
said that's no space station. So I was
Yeah.
like,
It's a moon.
where
It's a
am
moon.
I?
It is a moon. Yeah.
Alternate universe Star Wars. Which I guess kind of 7 does that, right? Because the whole planet is like a big super weapon in episode 7. So it's kind of like, turning a moon into a space station. So I guess your quote was
Sorta right.
It was eventually correct.
Yeah, eventually correct. But I shortened it down. It is my favorite movie.
All right, Ryan, you got the wheel pick here.
Yes.
You got to start with the movie. And work your
Okay,
way.
start with the movie. Man, there's so many good ones.
Oh, goddess.
that-
Endless.
Yeah, endless choices here. So I'm just gonna go from top of mind. This is just one of my favorites because I think it's a nice way to look at life sometimes, especially when you run into certain challenges and difficulties. Would it help?
That's a good one. And I do know I've seen that movie. I don't know.
I know
exactly
it.
which one
Would
is.
it help?
I know it. A great line. The gentleman won the Academy Award for Best Actor. I think Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor.
You're gonna. I'm like, oh,
I think it was supporting. Yeah.
This was a great movie. I just don't remember because even that line
He's a
just
great
made me
actor.
feel the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know what movie it is.
Because
I can't
they
picture.
call back to it several times throughout the film.
Oh, it's great.
And it kind of is,
Especially at the very end.
especially at the very end. Yeah.
Would it help? Bridge of Spies.
We're just spies.
Great movie.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So,
Very good
so
one.
sometimes when I'm like, I'm like,
forgot
I
about
should
that
feel
one.
scared or nervous, or I should be, I go, would it help?
That's right.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he's the Russian spy.
Yeah, he's the Russian spy, and he asked him,
Whoa,
wait, aren't you a little
spoilers.
nervous? Aren't you a little whatever? Would it help?
Would it help? Yeah.
Look, TV now? Are we doing TVs?
Yeah,
Okay,
TV
go.
show. All right. So again, I'm gonna go top of mind here. Okay. Oh, right. You know what? I do like this one, and you guys might be able to pick. I think you'll be able to pick this one up. I am the danger. A guy knocks on the door and gets shot, and you think that of me? I am the one who knocks. Freaking great line.
I don't know if I
Really?
know that one. Do you know that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
TV show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be way left out. I don't know a whole lot of TV, but
Oh, mine's a lot. But you'll get mine. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff. I don't know that. Would you get? You say it. What is it?
That's Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking. Oh, you're right.
It's
what
the
a great show. I love that show.
It's
You're
really
right.
the moment where you just know
Yeah.
for sure the old Walt, or
Yeah.
Walt is all
Gone.
in.
Yeah, he's
it's-
all in.
he
And
is-
the
he is,
old Walt's gone. The new one's
those.
come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So,
great moment.
all right. Mine is 90s. I'll even protect the. How you doing?
yeah.
yeah.
Seinfeld. Right?
Not even close. But that's okay. Thanks for jumping in. All right.
It was Cheers.
It was.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
no,
Nobody will get
obviously
that.
it's Joey Tribbiani.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
Friends.
wonderful. Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
classic.
go.
All right. Is mine I think mine's the 2000s.
Okay.
So it's really cold outside. Girl walks over and says, "I'm cold." And this dude's wearing a big jacket and says, "Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather." Like, so it sets it up one way and he just says, "I can't control the weather."
I don't know. Do you know that one? You do.
The hints in the
You
name.
watch a lot of
The
TV.
hints in the name.
Okay. Jackie. Don't know. What is it?
That's 70s show.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
okay.
a funny hint to say it's the 2000s, but that's when
Yeah,
it was
But it
filmed.
was, yeah,
That's
exactly.
yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Last but not least, the guy that said no words last time.
I declare bankruptcy.
You can't just declare bankruptcy.
Sorry if that clipped, Hunter.
Okay. I don't know that one. You?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know. You know?
Is it The Wolf of Wall Street? Or no?
TV show.
That is a
TV
movie.
show. I don't
Oh,
think
it's
Wolf of Wall
TV show.
yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I don't think Wolf of Wall Street was broke into the TV.
That is from spoken by Michael Scott.
Huh?
The Office.
Oh, The Office.
The Office.
That's a good delivery. You
Yeah,
delivered that
okay.
great.
Dude,
Okay.
apparently no one got it.
Well,
got
I
it.
had no chance
you got
because I
So-
didn't watch The Office either
Yeah,
all the
okay.
way through. So
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. We got to end this one? Go
I
ahead. buddy.
guess.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching another episode of MCT Podcast. We'll see you guys next week with some dollop.
Awesome.